All praises to Yahweh Shemal Shai, double honors to Apostle Great Millstone, peace and blessing to you brothers out there doing the work, truth and sincerity, in season, out of season. I want to go through a quick scripture. I'm not going to take long, just as on my spirit. Hopefully I'll be edifying to you brothers. And it's about, it's in the Galatians, the fifth chapter, because we're here in the last days, man. A lot of jakes are getting disenchanted, and really in jakes inside this truth, not making the right decisions because of the mind frame they're in, right? So I just want to bring out the scripture that Paul was writing to the Galatians about staying it and walking in the spirit. And I'm probably going to hit maybe two or three more scriptures just through the spirit. So I'm gonna go right into it, right? And it's this is Galatians 5, and I'll start at the 16th verse. It says, "This I say then, walk in the spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh." Right? For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh, and these are contrary the one to the other, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would, right? So things that we should is walking in the spirit, doing the things of the scriptures, right? For the betterment and the edification of the Akim out there, right? Not being occupied in the scriptures, not being occupied in prophecy will get you caught out there, man. Because your flesh is warned against your spirit. Like if you go into Galatians the 6th chapter, right? Galatians the 6th chapter talks about how we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and against spiritual wickedness in high places. So now that we know that this is not a physical battle and this is a spiritual, which your spirit lies in your mind, right? We know this is a mental battle, basically. The spirit warring against the flesh. So what are some of the things that you can walk in the spirit? Number one, you got to be analytical. You have to be able to analyze every situation that you're in, right? Because your last steps can be your next step can be your last step. I forget what brother said that I heard it from, but it's true. In this truth, man, you got to walk with caution. You also have to walk with confidence if you're doing the right things by staying in the spirit. What is the spirit, man? The spirit are these scriptures. The Lord Yahweh Shai, right? He left the comforter in the form of the book. He left his soap in the form of the book, right? And everything that entails in the book is the spirit of Yahweh Shemal Shai. How we should live our life, the commandments we should keep, commanding us to go on the highways and the byways. Not if you're weak with women, man, don't go out and meet women, man. Be occupied in these scriptures. If you're weak with alcohol, don't go buy alcohol. Don't go overdo it. Why? Because you give heed to them demons coming in there and giving you seducing spirits, man. Stick with the scriptures, man. Stick with being in the spirit. Now, in the 17th verse, the word contrary, right? I'll read it again, verse 17. For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh, right? So there's a battle there, man. Things that you want to do, your fleshly body wants to do something, right? But your spiritual body, right? Your spiritual mind wants to do something else, man, because your spirit is not wicked. All right. Your spirit wants to be righteous. But since we're in a chain of bondage and darkness, these bodies are corruptible, and they're susceptible to all these wicked demonic spirits and vibrations that's here out in America. So it's very important that we walk in the spirit. Now it says the spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary. So you have a battle. You actually have a battle within inside you, man. All right. It says, and these are contrary the one to the other. Basically, the word contrary, it goes back into the Latin, right? Meaning contra means against. So the flesh and the spirit are against each other. That's why when you want to do something, you might go and do something else, man. Because now the flesh is controlling you. But it's so hard, man. That's why what you do is you got to stay in these scriptures, man. Your next step could be your last step, man. Jake got to walk in caution, right? And these are contrary the one to the other, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would, man. And would is keep pushing this work nonstop, right? We have a desire to push this truth nonstop, day in and day out. If we could, 24 hours out of the day, but we're in the flesh. But the time that we do have available to push this truth, man, that should be first priority, right? That's walking in the spirit, making the right decisions according to the scriptures. According to the scriptures, not according to your mind. Because just like Jeremiah, the 17th chapter talks about your heart being wicked above all things, which we're in the know. We know that the heart, right? The heart that the scriptures is talking about is talking about your mind. The word lab in Hebrew. So it all goes back into your spirit warring against your flesh. Which proves that is the Most High set up that. Which proves that is Sirach, the 33rd chapter. And I'll get that real quick. Right? Sirach 33. Let me find it real quick. It says, bear with me 1 second. Bear with me. All right, cool. This is Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus 33 and 14. Good is set against evil, and life against death. So is the godly against the sinner, and the sinner against the godly. So the Most High set up a system to where there was going to be good and evil, right? There was going to be wicked demonic spirits, and there's going to be righteous spirits. There was going to be the physical body, and there was going to be the spirit that the Most High gave to you, right? Now, these two are good against evil, man. The spirit is good, and the flesh, these fleshly bodies, are susceptible to evil. So you have to fight that inner demon inside you that's trying to get out, man. That inner nigga, basically, that person within inside you that's trying to basically walk in the spirit of America, right? I want to bring out another scripture that I believe. Let me see if I can find it. If not, I'm gonna go to another scripture. Just give me a moment. Ephesians. Okay, cool. Yeah, this is Ephesians, the 2nd chapter, and Paul was going in the book of Ephesians, man. It says, and you have he quickened, right? Yahushua made you alive, right? So we're dead in trespasses and sin, because going off against the law, you're dead, man. Wherein time past ye walked according to the course of this world, right? What is the course of this world, man? Basically accepting everything, man. Do as thou wilt. Accept homosexuality, be a homosexual, be a transgender, accept the white man over you, accept his democracy, his Christianity, accept his global white supremacy system, be totally hand in hand, joint hand in hand with this devil and the other nations, man. Basically be an Uncle Tom Coon for the so-called white man, right? And give up your God, right? The God of heaven and earth, Yahweh, okay, and his son Yahushua, and cast the scriptures away, because that's what our people did. That's why we're in the majority of our people are in the condition that they are now. All of our people in the condition we did now, because we made a covenant with the Most High, right? And we didn't keep his law, statutes, commandments. It says, where in time past you walked according to the course of this world, man. Right. Homosexuality, lesbianism, just being totally indulging in folly, man. Right. According to the prince of the power of the air, which is Satan, man. And his children, right, his physical counterparts, is the so-called white man. The spirit that now worketh in the children disobedient, you so-called blacks and Hispanics, right? And let me get one more scripture in Ephesians, the 6th chapter, right? Just to kind of close it all in, tie it all in. It says, for we wrestle, this is Ephesians 6 and 12. For we wrestle, right? Wrestling is fighting, man. We all seen wrestling before. We all know what it is. It's a tuggle against who's stronger, man. So how do you build up your spirit, man? You got to constantly stay in these scriptures. Or, in turn, the flesh is going to be able to beat you in that battle, man. This is the battle of the flesh and the spirit. It says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principality, because this is not a physical battle. It's a spiritual battle, right? But against principalities, against powers, against rulers of darkness of this world, the so-called white man and his elite and his witchcraft, right? Against spiritual wickedness in high places, man. That's right, because there's a lot of vibrations pushed out there in the world, man. Like women being over men, homosexuals having more rights, accepting anything, accepting bestiality, accepting ungodliness, basically everything contrary, like it says in the book of Galatians, everything contrary to the scriptures, man. Opposite, total opposite of the scriptures. You know. So with that, hey brothers, stay in the scriptures, read the scriptures, and meditate on the scriptures, man. You just don't want to read the scriptures. You got to put your mind. You got to be able to extrapolate, man. This is a story, man. These words are actually these words are actually alive. They're spiritual, right? And this is going to build up your spiritual man. They have a battle with your physical man. All right. So with that, I give all praise to Yahweh Shema Shai and say shalom.